Well, look at that beast. This is my new bike. And I've been about 2 years trying to work out what the right bike is for me. And this thing is a ripper. But to work out what was the best, I had to do a few reviews. And so I'm going to do a review on this bike. But that's not what this video is about. After riding up this hill, I just started thinking, review, and I was like reviewing God. I don't know if you've ever contemplated that or thought about the things that you review online before you buy it. But imagine if we did that to God and we put God to the test and we thought, let's review him, what we'd actually find. And I think we all know what we'd find. We'd find a whole heap of maybe mixed reviews. And the mixed reviews might have some saying, God, there is no evidence for God, or it might say things like, God changed my life. And before we take all of those to heart and use that as the truth that we hold our decision on, I think it's worth noting that sometimes reviews are not very valid. And I think of some of the bike reviews that I've had a look at, and they would get a new bike in the post and they would put a 1 out of 5 because the bike didn't come with pedals. And so the whole bike just gets thrown out the window because there's no pedals. And if you actually ride bikes, you realize that when you get a decent bike, it doesn't come with pedals, and it's because they're a personal preference and you sort of choose your own. And so those sort of reviews are really unhelpful. And then you've got somebody who might be just attached to a brand, and that particular brand, whatever they do, is just perfect, and they get sort of glowing reviews. So you've got to do a bit of filtering. The other thing you get is people who haven't really tried a brand very much before, or that particular product. So they review it after having it for 3 days and they say, works great. And that's awesome, but if they haven't had it for a number of years, they might not be aware that it breaks down after a month and you'll have a whole heap of issues. So long-term reviews are pretty important as well. Now, reviews by experts, that's really important because they're the people who've ridden all the different bikes and so on. They've tried everything. They're worth noting. And reviews by people who are mid-riders or beginners as well are important as well, because we don't always get to that extreme sort of level at the upper end of what that sport might be. So the point here is that when we look at Christianity and God, we've got to make sure we take a little bit of a step back. And I would say every single review that God gets that is negative is because of people, not because of God. And really sort of maybe meditate on that. Every single negative experience that I've ever heard of is not actually about God, it's about people. And it's people's misunderstanding of God. And so they misunderstand a situation which may have happened. And this doesn't mean that people are stupid. It just means that we have to put things into context and understand and explore why those things might be happening. So my bike breaks, well, it might have happened because of something that I haven't serviced. So, it might be a bottom bracket is loose and I get upset because the cranks break, but it's because the bottom bracket was loose, and that's a maintenance thing that I've actually caused. So it becomes my problem, not necessarily the manufacturer's problem. And in this case, we're really like, it's not God's problem. It's actually people's problem, and we're the problem. God is perfect. So look, I just want to do a quick plug for God. I've been a Christian all my life, and so I'm a bit of a long-term reviewer here, and I have questioned God's existence. I've been angry at God many times, and the reality is it's because of me. Those negative things are always me, and they're not God, and God has never ever failed me. And unlike a bike that eventually wears out, a new technology comes to God stands the test of time. And I cannot just say more good things about God, and I wish that that God would get a better rap, because sometimes he doesn't. And I just hope that you try him out again, and maybe you also can do your own review, and may it be a just and fair review, based on a whole heap of evidence, not just a small amount of time, not just based on what other people might think, isolating your own negatives and what you see as a person, and your own shortcomings, and let's give God a better rap. 5 out of 5, God. Well done.